Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spieckerman Speaks Retail with me, Carol Spieckerman. I've been knee-deep in B2B retail sales and marketing for my entire career, and I know how hard it is to stand out from the herd. So I launched my consulting business with a clear mission: help retail marketers, technology, and solution providers sharpen their market positioning so they can get credit for the great stuff they're already doing and accelerate growth. Through my workshops, advisory services, and thought leadership platforms, we'll bridge the gap between where retail's headed next and how your solutions fit into that future. So I'm just back from Nashville, where I keynoted Syndigo's Connect conference, and wow, what a great event that was. The energy in the room was electric, literally, because Syndigo was rocking a music theme that made the whole show so much fun. And after my presentation, I had a terrific conversation with Chris Capato from Kroger about how some of the trajectories I curated for my presentation are playing out in the retail trenches. And by the way, Chris is that rare combo of wicked smart, multifaceted, kind, and curious. He's a true leader who I am now proud to call a friend. But it was a really diverse group of retailers, brands, and solution providers at the conference, which I always love. But everyone was wrestling with the same challenge. How do we stay ahead of this rapidly evolving retail landscape where product data isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom? But during my Retail Trajectories keynote, and especially in Q&A and conversations that followed, one specific topic kept bubbling up to the surface. People were pulling me aside at coffee breaks and cornering me at cocktail hour, wanting to talk more about AI agents and what they mean for retail, and particularly on the product experience management side, where these folks work every day. And I got to say, the timing was kind of crazy because I was already putting this episode together to talk about agentic shopping as a broader topic. So I think it was obviously meant to be, and here we are. But what we're looking at here isn't just another tech trend that retailers need to optimize for. This is a complete disruption of the game they've spent years perfecting. But most people are still treating it like it's just a tweaking exercise. Spoiler alert, it's not. But first things first, let's agree on what an AI agent even is, because in my experience, this term is getting thrown around with everybody nodding along even when it doesn't apply. But an AI agent isn't just a chatbot with better PR, and it's not your website search function on steroids. A true AI agent is software that can reason, make decisions, and take actions on behalf of humans autonomously. We're talking about systems that can shop for you, complete purchases, manage your subscriptions, and even filter out marketing that doesn't align with your values or goals. Think of it this way. Instead of going to Amazon and searching through dozens of options, reading reviews, and clicking buy now, you just tell your AI agent, I need a new coffee maker that's under $200 and fits into my minimalist kitchen. And it goes out, scans the entire internet in places you'd probably never think to go, and then it completes the purchase with no human intervention required. But here's where it gets interesting, and where I think a lot of companies are getting confused. This is fundamentally different from the chatbots and AI assistants we're already used to. Because if you ask ChatGPT to help you find a coffee maker, it might give you some suggestions, but you're still doing all the legwork, the searching, comparing, deciding, and purchasing. That's not agentic. It's just a really smart assistant. A true AI agent doesn't just respond to your specific instructions. It reasons through problems and makes decisions based on contextual knowledge of you and your preferences. It's the difference between asking someone for directions and hiring someone to actually drive you to your destination. So much of what we're calling AI agents today are really just chatbots and assistants and fancy packaging. Agentic AI will shift decision-making dynamics from choices made by customers to those made on their behalf. OpenAI's operator is already doing this true agent work. Google, Apple, Meta, they're all building these capabilities. And the ultimate proof that something serious is afoot is that there's already an acronym for it, A to C, or agent to consumer. And here's where it gets scary for retailers. These agents don't care about your beautiful product photography, your emotional brand storytelling, or your carefully crafted SEO strategy that took you months to perfect. And you might be thinking, hey, this is 5 years away, maybe 10? Why worry about it now? To that I say, do you remember when mobile commerce was supposedly 5 years away? You remember when social commerce was just a nice to have? But here's my fundamental premise. Retailers are no longer just places that sell stuff. They're platforms, complex, diversified platforms that tie together products, services, including advertising for brand marketers, convenience options for shoppers, data, content, digital experiences, physical experiences, the whole 9 yards. So now and in the future, retail growth will happen through platform building, platform partnerships, and platform monetization, not just selling stuff. And tapping into this trifecta is what separates the survivors from the casualties. Just look at the retailers that have failed recently, like Party City, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Joann Fabrics, and many others that came before. What did they have in common? They were places that sold stuff. Narrow-focused, product-centric, one-dimensional businesses. But meanwhile, the retailers that are thriving today, with Amazon and Walmart in the rarefied air in that department, they're platforms that offer everything from cloud computing to advertising services to healthcare. And I would even argue that one reason Target's having a tough time right now is because it's dabbled in platform building and monetization, but it never really went all in. If Target had, I think they'd have a much sturdier bulwark against all the backlash they're facing right now on the just selling stuff side of the business. But here's where AI agents throw a massive wrench into this carefully constructed platform strategy. All that work that retailers have done to create those sticky, diversified platforms, all those services designed to onboard and keep customers engaged and spending within retailers' ecosystems, AI agents can just dart in and out of these platforms without getting caught up in the experience that retailers have worked so hard to create. So think about it. If an AI agent's shopping for you, it doesn't care about Target's cute seasonal displays. It's not going to get distracted by Walmart's grocery pickup service while shopping for electronics. And it won't be impressed by Amazon's personalized recommendations based on your browsing history. These agents are heat-seeking, retailer-agnostic bots that are completely unmoved by your perfectly optimized product descriptions and conversion funnels. And this hits retailers in two critical ways. First, it disrupts their customer retention strategy. All those billions invested in creating seamless omnichannel experiences and platform diversification, that's designed to keep customers playing and spending within their ecosystems. But AI agents don't need to be retained, and they can't be restrained. They're task-oriented visitors that show up, grab what they need, and then head out. Second, and this is huge, it threatens the retail media gold mine. Retail media has become a massive profit center for major retailers, with brands paying premium rates to advertise on Amazon, Walmart, and Kroger's platforms because these retailers control access to millions of shoppers. But if AI agents are doing the shopping, they could theoretically also shop for advertising, completely bypassing retailers' carefully curated brand partnerships and sponsored product placements. But won't retailers just build their own AI agents? Yes, they will, and they are. Walmart's already building shopping agents that can handle repetitive tasks like grocery reorders and responding to prompts like, I want to plan a unicorn-themed party for my daughter. Now, that's really smart defensive positioning. But there are two big challenges. Consumers aren't going to want to work with 7 different agents, one for every retailer they shop with. They'll want one universal agent that can shop across all platforms and find the best deals, fastest delivery, or whatever criteria matters to them the most at any given time. And that universal agent isn't going to be loyal to any particular retailer or brand. The retailers who understand this, though, are already freaking out, and rightfully so. These are the smart, diversified retailers who spent years building these sophisticated platforms only to realize that a bot might just render all that stickiness irrelevant. So what does this mean for the future of retail? Well, first, it means that product data optimization is about to become exponentially more important and more complex. It's no longer going to be good enough to optimize for human shoppers and search engines. Now, you're going to need to make sure that your products are discoverable and appealing to AI agents that think and shop fundamentally differently than humans do. These agents aren't going to be swayed by emotional appeals or lifestyle imagery. They'll prioritize structured data, transparent pricing, and measurable value. They might make split-second decisions about pricing and discounts that'll make your head spin. And they're definitely not going to be impressed by your Instagram-worthy product staging. Second, it means that retailers need to think seriously about their direct consumer relationships. Because if checkout moves from your website to a third-party AI agent's interface, you're losing a critical touch point with your customers. You're becoming more like a supplier than a destination. And here's where it gets really complex, and honestly where I think retailers are going to struggle the most. How do you optimize for both humans and agents on the same website without messing up the experience and navigation? Think about it. Your human customers want emotional appeals, beautiful 3D lifestyle imagery, aspirational language. They want to see that coffee maker transforming their morning routine in their kitchen sanctuary. But an AI agent? It wants structured data, specifications, compatibility details, clear dimensions, basically a technical spec sheet. So now retailers are facing a seemingly impossible choice. Do you lead with human appeal and hope that agents can dig through it to find the data they need? Do you create separate pages and risk confusing your site architecture? Or do you try to blend both approaches and maybe end up satisfying neither audience particularly well? It's a fundamental conflict that no one's really solved yet, and it's happening on product pages across every retail website. But here's where I see opportunity amid all this disruption. The retailers who will thrive in an AI agent world are ones who embrace this shift instead of fighting it. They'll figure out how to make their platforms not just agent-friendly, but agent-preferred. They'll develop their own AI capabilities, not as a defensive move, but as a competitive advantage. And they'll remember that while AI agents might be doing the shopping, humans are still doing the living. So there'll always be room for retailers that can create experiences, solve problems, and provide value that goes beyond transactional efficiency. The key is to recognize that we're not just tweaking our marketing messages here. We're looking at fundamental shifts in how commerce will happen in the future. The retailers who get ahead of this curve, those who start thinking about agent optimization the same way they once thought about mobile optimization, those are the ones who will still be here in 10 years. The ones who treat it like just another algorithm to game, or worse yet, something they can just think about later, well, we've seen how that story ends in retail, and it's usually not very pretty. I'm going to be watching this space very closely because I genuinely believe this is the next major disruption in retail. And unfortunately, it might be the nail in the coffin for some of those narrow-focused, product-centric retailers that are still hanging on. But for the smart, diversified platforms willing to evolve, it might just be the next chapter in their platform-building story. Thank you for listening in today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And if you did, you can invite me to your organization or event to bring conversations like this to life in your spaces. That's what I do. B2B coaching, training, executive consulting, and thought leadership. If it has to do with B2B market positioning and business development, it's probably something I can help you with. So if you're interested in learning how we can work together, reach out to me at speakermanretail.com or email team@speakermanretail.com to book a discovery call. Until next time, keep speaking retail.